Hey everybody, I'm here with Claudia, manager from Premium. Hi Claudia.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for coming in. We're here to talk about something really special, especially in a low inventory market. Claudia, how long have you been doing this?
I've been in the mortgage industry 27 years, and I've been with Premium Mortgage for 7.
Wow, 7 years with Premium Mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done quite a few deals with you guys and very, very impressed by how you guys handle yourself with the clients and the tools that you offer, and especially the tool that we're going to be talking about today. So what would you say are the biggest factors when a buyer goes into a multiple offer situation from the lender standpoint?
From the lender standpoint, making sure that they've provided all their documents, that we have exhausted all possible options as far as mortgage down payments, so they are putting their best foot forward with their offer.
It's huge. I think that what we're talking about today is almost like an ace in the pocket for some of these buyers, where they're going up against two, three, four, sometimes even 10 different buyers. And you know what is really tough, Claudia, is competing in an offer situation where the other buyer has a cash offer.
Yeah.
But we've seen our buyers win it, which is great. So we want to share this little trick with you guys, and we want to show you how we can get the buyer to the finish line from the lending standpoint. So one of the things that we talk about is, one of the reasons why someone would go with a cash offer versus an offer that has financing is because they know they don't have to have that hurdle of an appraisal. And what are some of the other contingencies that are linked to having a lender involved in the purchase?
So, an appraisal, but other than that, commitment, right? So, making sure that people are approved, but if they're properly pre approved, that's not really a hurdle to begin with. And then the other two hurdles you would have on a cash offer anyway, inspections and title. So those two still exist.
We have there's little things that we put in there to try to have the seller to overlook those, like an appraisal gap. And we can do increase in threshold and increase deposit. A lot of questions that we get asked about the deposit is, where does this deposit, what does it go towards? So if they were going to put a $5,000 deposit, now they're going to put a $50,000 deposit. Does that go towards their loan, their principal? How does that typically work?
So it's just a credit at the time of closing. So if they gave $50,000, it's held in escrow until the time of closing, and then whatever mortgage program they did, we basically add up the down payment requirement or the amount they chose to put down, the closing costs, and the prepaids, which is taxes and homeowners insurance, and you come with a total. Whatever that total is, you then would subtract if it were a $50,000 earnest money deposit from that total. And if, let's say, the total is $40,000, the buyer would actually get $10,000 back because they had put too much earnest money deposit. So it's not money they lose; it's just money that goes toward all those costs at closing.
Very cool. Yeah. And it helps too. I know when we presented to our sellers, we're like, hey, listen, we have these three offers. This person put down 5,000, this one put down 10, and this one, we had one person that put down $100,000. And they're just like, wow, $100,000. Almost like your offer holds more weight. And speaking of it holding more weight, like what would you say to your pre-approvals holding more weight than the competition? Like why when we get a pre-approval and has premium on it, why is that more valuable than some of the other ones that are out on the market?
Well, we pride ourselves on making sure that our name stands out. For example, the owner of Premium, Mike Donahue, likes to walk in rooms. And we are the number one mortgage lender in Rochester and Buffalo, but he likes to walk in the room and say to the agents, who's had a deal that was pre-approved, end up getting declined? And usually most of the people in the room put up their hands, and then he'll say, who has had a pre-approval from Premium fall apart and end up being declined? And then all the hands go down. And that's his statement in those markets of that's the difference, because we will not only vet everybody up front, but if things happen, we really work with the clients to find a solution and think outside the box, like, would a little bit more seller concession get us to that closing table? Like, we will go back and just see what we can come up with outside of the box thinking, so to speak, to come with a solution.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. The proof is in the pudding, right? It's a premium letter for a reason. It's premium.
It's premium.
Yeah, I love it. So that's great. So now that we're talking about all the different contingencies, what is this ace up in the pocket that you guys offer that we've been using? Let's share a little bit about how you guys do that.
Yeah, in the capital region, we have been utilizing a lot our seller guarantee, which essentially says to the seller, if for any reason we don't deliver on a solid commitment letter to back up our pre-approval, we will give you 4% of the purchase price up to $10,000 for wasting your time, right? So it's pretty much money guaranteed behind the pre-approval. Obviously, it's the same as a cash offer. So now it equals the cash offer, right? The only things that could make it fall apart are title and inspections. So essentially even makes it equal to the cash offer. The other piece that is part of the lending process that we talked about is the appraisal, right? So a lot of times with the seller guarantee, our buyers will sign an appraisal gap. And what we do is we actually reach out to our appraisal management company and say, here's the address, do we have comps to support this? And he will tell us. So we've kind of gathered a little bit of information up front to know that comps are available to support that purchase price. Not to mention, a lot of times when houses are listed, you've already had a realtor opinion. They're listing that house because they know they have comps. So it's really just a second check right before they go to contract to say, yes, this looks good. Now it's essentially similar to a cash offer.
Yeah. I love that you guys do your homework. That's huge. I'm really surprised that sometimes a realtor won't do a comparative market analysis prior to making the offer. They just think, well, it's on the market and it's worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it. And that's all we need to do. But really, you should run comps. Nobody likes surprises.
Right.
So the fact that you guys do your homework on that is huge.
And talk to the buyer if there is a gap. You're going to sign a gap for $10,000. There's a really good chance you're going to need to come with that $10,000. I see you have that money. Are you willing to? Because once you put that in your offer, you're committing that if it comes in $10,000 below the price you're paying, you will pay the extra $10,000. As long as they know up front, the transaction goes really smooth because everyone's educated day one.
Yeah. Well, you've been through the ups and the downs in the real estate market, Claudia.
A couple times.
We didn't really have to do these kind of crazy offers, right, before. And, I'm sure it'll level out and there'll be more inventory down the road, right? While I have you, everyone's asking me and our agents, where are the rates going to? Speak to that really quick.
So rates, I did attend a seminar a week or two ago, and a economist from DC had flown in for the Mortgage Bankers Association here locally. And what he had said based on, 45 minutes of charts and graphs is we need to expect them to stay in this range. There is no anticipation of them going down. There's always the caveat of things could happen and they could go down. But as of right now for 2025, we are anticipating them to stay pretty steady in a 6 to 8 range, depending on what kind of mortgage you're getting. And if you're a first-time home buyer, there's a whole bunch that goes into what your rate actually is. But because we know there's always that opportunity and the rates were stopping people from buying, or we'll wait till the rates go down. One of the things that Premium did in 2024 was we came out with our buy now, refinance later, which actually they get these rates. But if by the end of 2027 rates do go down, we waive title, they're only going to pay minimal closing costs. So it's just an appraisal, recording fees, and New York State tax if it applies to their mortgage. But we do service retain a lot. So in that case, we can actually do a consolidation extension modification agreement with them and avoid the New York State tax again. So we actually created something for our buyers to take advantage of rates by the end of 2027 if they go down, because we really can't predict what's going to happen. But for this year, expect to stay in this range. And just remember, one of the sayings I heard recently was the best time to buy a house is 5 years ago. The second best time is now.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's such good advice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a couple. They were hemming and hawing. Like, I think we need to up our price a little bit. And I'm like, talk to your lender. Like, you don't want to be in a position down the road where you need to sell.
Right.
And just see like where that gap is, and if it's going to be, conducive for what you and your family want at this point. But it's good to kind of have a perspective on where rates are tending on going, and then knowing what to do. So
right.
Very cool. How did you get into this business? You told me like the owner was in real estate and then got into lending. And how about you? How did you get into it?
I started when I was 19. I had a 2-year degree in accounting and was a waitress third shift at Denny's. And I was dating somebody who was painting someone's house. And she worked for M&T Bank. It was the VP actually, and he said, my girlfriend's looking for a job. She has a 2-year degree, but she's waitressing. And she said, well, tomorrow when she drops you off to work, have her come in. And she literally hired me in her kitchen. And from there, it was me learning and growing. And now I'm at a point 27 years later that I'm sharing my knowledge with everyone. And I actually enjoy that piece, right? Kind of like I think you do too. It's teaching others everything you know in the 27 years of knowledge that you've gained. There's not many scenarios I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's great to give back and to be a resource for people too. And, we appreciate you, and I know your team does too. So thank you so much, Claudia, from Premium. We appreciate all of your hard work and helping our clients. Recommend anybody, give them a call if you're thinking.
Thank you, Jared. It's nice to be here.
My pleasure.
Thanks.